sculpture and naming them as well in a moment. But I will begin by asking the artist to say a few words, and you have a few people that want to say a few words.
Yes, we do. So, well, again, well, thank you for coming. And today we're sort of celebrating an idea, I think, as much as anything. And the idea in simple terms is sort of it sounds rather noble and is meant to be in some ways change the world. I've been a college professor at some level for better than 30 years at 3 different universities throughout the nation. And the one thing that I think that we do very well in higher education is we teach people to memorize stuff. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's good. I mean, all by profession in here need to know their area well, and they need to know the history of it, and they need to know the engineering of it. The problem is we're all inheriting a new world. And in that new world, it's more interested in new ideas than it is old ideas. Aesthetic engineering, which this project fell under, is actually an idea that's about 15 years old. And it never really had a title. It had a purpose, but it never had a title until about 5 years ago. But it definitely had priorities. And the priorities were that we change the way people address problem solving. And that we try to bring back something in the arts that's personal, personal narrative, stories about a place and a time. And we also want to change the timing of culture. In the last century, we've become a culture, we've become a people that like to buy our entertainment, and we sort of rent it for an hour or two. And we choose that. You know, we choose it by buying tickets. We choose it by the channels on the radio or the channels on the TV. And I'm more interested in culture we don't choose. And I'm also interested in how we time response to that culture. And in reference and in looking at this project and the students involved with this project, in the 4 years or the 5 years that they might be on this campus, the hundreds of times, literally the hundreds of times, that they're going to walk by and view these 5 sculptures, these symbols about who they are. I had a good honor on Thursday evening of going to the honors dinner. The dinner that was designed to celebrate the honors students and give them an award. And part of that good luck was being the guest of Miss Vanderhoof. Miss Vanderhoof is one of those accomplished young women that is on her way to dental school. She's going to Detroit Mercy. And the one thing that I could guarantee in the few years that I've known Miss Vanderhoof is that she's going to be very good at being a dentist. She's going to be a very accomplished dentist. But one of the things that makes her unique, in my opinion, in knowing this woman, is that there's something in this girl that, regardless of profession, by choice, by personal choice, she's going to change the world in some way. I'm not sure how, but I don't question that she's going to change the world in some way. You know, one of the things that's sometimes unique about being a professor who's dedicated his life to the arts, it isn't always what you make that's important. It's who you get to work with in the process that I think is far more compelling. I've had this young Aaron Martin who's a future architect working with me now for the last short year. And the thing that's compelling about this girl is her dedication to detail. I mean, I create these massive problems, and this is a woman who has this persistence to be able to walk through detail at a level that I've never seen before. And Bob, who's a welding engineering student, who's a big part of this project, who's not here today, he's on his way, still on his way from Grand Rapids, was probably the best problem solver I ever worked with. And what made him unique at problem solving was he could take complex ideas and find the simplest way to solve them. And you know, that's really a remarkable, I think, a remarkable kind of trait. So, you know, we have these 5 symbols, these 5 visual symbols. that really came from Dean Potter and Maud Bigford, and then was carried on by Kit's son and Peter Bradley. They're the ones who carried the ball on these things. And these symbols really have kind of an interesting purpose. And they're not signage. They're not detailed plans for anything. What they are are sort of references to something. The 5 priorities of the honors program. So we have global, and we got community, and we got leadership, and we got scholarship, and then we got culture. And so the trick is not to lead anyone anywhere. It's simply to give them this visual symbol that they have to respond to and interpret themselves, not in an hour and a half, not in 2 hours, not something that they paid to get a ticket for, but in something that is, for lack of a better term, I call visual osmosis. It's not like getting tapped on the shoulder. Every time they walk by these things, they're going to interpret them. And eventually they're going to become part of who they are. They're going to evolve signature. It's going to be part of the way they think about the world. And that's the difference. That's what we try to do here when we create cultural commodities. We use the university as a resource. That's the gift. So with that though, I'd like to introduce some of these people that were involved with this. 2 of them, Bob, I don't know if Bob's going to make it or not. He's coming up from Grand Rapids, but I've got Aaron and Lauren here, and I'd like them to speak a few words, because as far as I'm concerned, their opinion's worth a lot more than mine. So, if you would, ladies, you choose first path. You choose who goes first.
I'll go first. I wrote a little speech. So, my name's Lauren Vanderhoof, and I'm a graduating senior, and I'm also an honors student. I was so excited when Professor Barnum asked me to be involved with this project, because I've always been a huge fan of all of his artwork and sculptures. I also consider him both an exceptional teacher and artist. These sculptures we are viewing here today are more than just pieces of metal put on a wall. They are a symbol. They represent characteristics of and the excellence of the honors program. They say, we are honors. And through this artwork, us honors students have something to be proud of. Being involved with this project, I was able to see the progression of each of these sculptures. It was truly amazing being able to see an idea come to life through all the hard work everyone put into acknowledging honor students in an artistic way. It all started on paper, and piece by piece, it was welded together until a finalized sculpture appeared. These sculptures represent and tell a story. They give the visual legacy of the honors program and of all the students within the program. Students are now able to live and walk by these sculptures and know that they represent their high achievements. It gives honors students ownership and something to be truly proud of. I'm thankful to have contributed to this project, and as an honors student myself, I would just like to give another